First of all, do you think that you're for the arming solution because you're biased because arming is literally your name? Second of all,
Because what? Sorry, I didn't
uh,
hear. Because arming what? Oh, is my
is literally your name.
okay. Yeah, that's the only reason why I'm doing this, by the way.
Yeah, it sounds the same. Conveniently, it just so happens to be your name and you're for it.
Yes.
But the alternative that I saw, Saeed, is it Qasaminejad? Is that how you say his
Yes.
name?
Awesome. Yep.
What he was advocating for, and what I've been talking about originally, my understanding of the situation before the recent pivot to arming them, was that let's say you have a few thousand defectors from Artesh and IRGC. So you already have some weapons. And would that not, with in conjunction with sky support from drones, would that not arguably be enough without needing to take the time to arm people and with the malnutrition and so on, everything that's going on?
Yeah, that would be the most okay. That would be the most ideal if we have a coup by the Artesh against the IRGC. If we have the Artesh, a major part of the Artesh, come and says joins the revolution, joins the Iranian people, and fights against the regime. Obviously, that is the most ideal scenario. That's what we have been hoping for and working on. That's what Prince Reza Pahlavi has been working on for so many years. But yeah, so yeah, if that happens, that would be the best solution. But okay, but can we just sit back and say, well, hope, but we'll just hope that happens? Well, what if it doesn't?
No,
Yeah.
but based on the fact that Qasaminejad is arguing for that, would to me lend credence to the theory that they already have those. The only person who knows how many people defected is Pahlavi, or in the people around it. And so, if Pahlavi's camp are making or trying to advocate for this solution, then it sounds to me like they think they have enough numbers.
What did they say exactly that makes you think that?
I actually wanted to do this 2 days ago. Let's see if I can find.
Because okay, let me tell you what Prince Reza Pahlavi himself said in response to Political when they asked him if he has enough numbers. He specifically said that these people are not going to be entering. They're not going to get. They're not going to get involved until they can already see that there's a close to a guarantee that the Islamic Republic is falling. Right. That's what Prince Reza Pahlavi said with these people that they have when Political asked him about it. Right. So that means that whatever people they have within the regime, they're going to basically enter the game at the final stage when when things are already falling. They're going to come in and secure secure the environment, right? So we need people to be fighting during the revolution. We need people to be fighting to get us to the point where the regime is collapsing. I appreciate that we have some people that maybe we could rely on, that once the regime is collapsing, they could secure everything and make sure not everything is going to shit. But we need people fighting as well to get us to that point as well with weapons.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying. Do you want me to read the tweet? I found it.
Okay, go ahead, read it.
It wasn't as clear cut as I remembered. So, arming the Iranian people is a sound idea. It requires time, planning, and infrastructure. In the meantime, when protesters are in the streets, deploying 5200 MQ-9 Reaper and MQ-1C Grey Eagles over Iran's 10 largest cities for persistent loitering, surveillance, and precision targeting of repression forces on the ground would be a game changer and could accelerate the regime's collapse. If Washington decides.
Isn't that Israeli drones?
It's American drones, I think.
American drones. Okay, so he's asking for drones.
Yeah. If Washington
decides. So he wasn't talking about the Artesh. He was talking about drone support for the Iranian people.
Yes, but to me that would sound as though, because you do already have, I've heard elsewhere the people assessing that you have at least some people with arms that have defected, presumably.
Yeah, but not enough. Not enough. Not enough to do a revolution. Not enough to do a revolution.
Yeah. Why not to do a revolution on their own?
Huh?
Not enough to do a revolution on their own. I'm saying in conjunction with drones, I think maybe if they see that it works with drones and the momentum is on the people's side, then they would join.
So here's what I say to the Saeed Qasaminejad post, okay? We need both. Why not both? Okay, why not both? Because he himself starts with saying this is a good idea, but we also need this. Okay, but I'm not against those drones supporting Iranian people. I think that's amazing. But here's what annoys me. Here's what annoys me. Okay, the Iranian people are not part of the discussion. With you know who everybody else that is part of the discussion, they're part of the discussion for a good reason, because they have weapons. Okay, when we're talking about defeating the Islamic Republic, we're talking about Americans, we're talking about Israelis, we're talking about, I don't know, UAE, Saudi Arabia. They're getting involved, not getting involved, but we don't talk about the Iranian people. It's easy to ignore the Iranian people because the Iranian people do not have enough agency because they're not armed. Okay, you give people agency by arming them. That's how you make them important. That's how you make them part of the conversation, because now they have leverage, right? So sure, would I appreciate some drone support by Americans and Israelis and an uprising by the Iranian people? Of course I will appreciate that. Who would say no to that? Okay, but I am tired of only relying on other forces. The Iranian people need to become, they already are a force of themselves, but politically, not militarily. The Iranian people need to become a force of themselves militarily.
Okay, people want to respond. We can continue this.
Okay, guys, respond as fast as you can if you possible, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to eat because we're already 17 minutes past. So, okay, Jeffrey and Sketch, please.
So
as
yeah,
fast-
real quick, because I want you to get you out so you can eat. As far as arming the Iranian citizens, assessed if the Iranian Americans and Canadians of Iranian descent that are working give 100 hours a week for 23 weeks. You can build the 12 fighting facilities and train all of the people you need to train to support activities with non and lesser kinetic activities. Give it for 82 weeks, and then you can train 20 U.S. and Canadians of Iranian descent up to the level beyond an airborne ranger with additional counterinsurgency training, and create 158 and arm them and deliver them into 158 companies of 128 men, broken down to 8-man hunter-killer teams to hunt and slaughter our IRGC and besiege execution elements, and by doing so, crush the steel fist, the last steel fist that the Mullah regime has to oppress the Iranian people.
Sketch?
Look, whether let's say all of the Artesh joins, let's say 420,000 Artesh are on the side of the people and they are anti-IRGC and everything goes picture perfect. You still want these people armed because we want to get to a Second Amendment. We want to have a culture that makes every surrounding country think it's not worth it.
All right.
And
I agree
before you
with
go,
that.
Armin, Ian made an educational video game on the Iranian Revolution. You want to say 2 sentences about it?
Okay.
Yeah. I just have a prototype and I'm looking for people to check it out, give me feedback, potentially collaborate. Particularly need help with Farsi language stuff. It's at .games plural, so freeiran.games plural, and there's a contact link on the site with my emails. seeyouinfreeiran@gmail.com. I love it. People could check it out. I'm just trying to make it better and build up. I'm not ready to put it on blast yet because it's not good enough yet. So thank you very much.
All right, guys. I'm gonna stop the recording on the group. And by the way, guys, for people on YouTube, the way that this works is that when I leave, the conversation in our group continues without me. I'm not gonna close the conversation. It just becomes more organic. People just speak without turns and without time limits after I leave. Okay, so I'm gonna go now and I'm gonna end the stream. So yeah, guys, I'm Israel Chai.
Hey,
Long live
Armin,
America. Yes.
say Ida.
Ida. Okay, Ida. Not Ida. Okay, Ida. Okay.
You
All
can
right,
you
guys.
can go either way.
Okay. Thank you.
Javicha.
Javicha. I'm Israel Chai. Okay, I'm Israel Chai. Long live America. Javicha. Payande Iran.